Welcome to Artistic Adventures. We're going to finish up our Obitsu project today by making the tops and give you a final look at the finished product. I also have an exciting announcement at the end, so stay tuned. So now we have our doll with her hiking boots that we made and her leggings. So our top's going to be actually three pieces. The first piece is going to be a little sort of tank top, cami top that's going to fit underneath the other items that we're going to make. And that's because the sweatshirt that she'll have is sort of an off the shoulder grunge look. And I wanted to have the straps of this little shirt show from underneath on the shoulder. So it's very simple. I'm using a t-shirt material. I'm keeping the hem at the bottom so I don't have to hem it. And then I'm going to sew one side up. Then I'm going to turn under the top part and hem that so we have an even hem. Now, the other side, I'm not going to sew yet. I'm going to actually fit it on the doll because it's going to be pretty tight and I doubt that I'd be able to get it on if I went ahead and sewed it. Remember, I'm not the take the clothes off kind of person. I'm sort of doing this as an art form, and the clothes are going to stay on unless you cut them off, except for the leggings. The leggings would come off and the boots. So I'm just taking some ribbon, some satin ribbon, and sewing it to the front part. I marked it underneath when I've tried the top on the doll to see where the best placement would be. So there's one ribbon sewed on, and now I'm going to go over on the other side and sew that ribbon on. And make sure you sew it up at the top or it'll pull and look funny. Now once we get these two straps on, then I'm going to actually sew the little tank top onto the doll, and then I'll attach the back strips. Now to do this, I pick up a loop of the fabric and then that's back from the edge, and then do the same thing on the other side. That makes the uneven edge sort of fold under when you pull the string tight. So you're looping the uneven part underneath. And I just do that all the way down until I finish sewing it on, and then you have fairly neat looking little side seam. Although this particular part of the outfit's not going to really show, so it doesn't matter as much. Although you will be able to take off the sweatshirt, so you would be able to see it if you took it off. So now I'm just tucking the ribbons down in the back now that I know the right length, and I'm just going to sew those across the top. Just a few stitches is all you need there. And then go over and do the strap on the other side. This way you know you've got your straps tight enough when you're sewing it, onto the doll instead of sewing it off the doll. All right, now once that's finished, we have our little tank top, cami top. And now we're going to do the sweatshirt top. And once again, I'm using sort of a thick t-shirt for this. And as I'm marking it, I'm making it really slouchy, really big on her. And it's going to angle in a little bit toward the legs at the bottom. The sleeves won't be quite as slouchy looking because I want them to look like a regular sweatshirt sleeve. And then for the neck, it's going to be sort of a boat neck, and I'm going to leave it unhemmed. Sort of the flash dance look. Remember that? Now, to make sure I get this symmetrical, I'm cutting out completely one side, and then I'm going to fold it in half in the middle and cut out the other side so I know I have it symmetrical. Because I do tend to get these off. I never said I was a good seamstress, remember? I'm more about the illusion. I'm sort of a Monet seamstress. If you get up close, you're like, what's this mess? But from far away, it looks pretty good. All right, so I've got my sweatshirt, and I'm going to leave the uh, turned up hem on the outside just to give it a little more of that sort of grunge look. Now I found this old flannel shirt at Goodwill, and it's perfect for me to make her a flannel shirt, and really only doing this because I want to tie it around her waist. You'll see a lot of this with this grunge look. A lot of people will wear like short jean shorts or whatever, and then they'll tie a flannel shirt around their waist. So she's going to have the um, sweatshirt and then tie this around. And I'm putting a seam, cutting up the middle, uh, and then up the sides there at an angle so it will look like an actual men's flannel shirt. And then I'm going to get out my little baby sewing machine and sew around the outside seams of the sleeves and the side using a small, right about 1/8 of an inch seam, maybe between that and a 1/4 of an inch. So sewing up the sleeves and the sides. And then when I finish that part, I'm going to go back and hem the outside edges, except for the sleeves. I'm not going to hem those right yet. All right, so just get started and turn under the seam. I'm using a little sharp tool there to help me poke some of this under because it's so hard to sew these little small seams. Just make sure if you do this that you don't let the needle run over the sharp point or it'll break the needle, maybe fly up and hit you in the face. All right, so once we finished hemming this thing, then we're going to start the most exciting part, which is trying it on the doll. Yep. All right, I've got to turn the sleeves first. Oh, actually, we haven't sewed the sweatshirt yet, so we're going to do that. All right, so we've got our little shirt. We've sewed our little shirt together, and that's all it needs to be because it's going to be tied around our waist. It doesn't have to be, completely authentic. All right, so now we're going to take the sweatshirt and sew around the sleeves and the sides. I'm not going to hem the sleeves or the neck because I wanted to have that rough cutout look, which is sort of typical with the grunge look. And once I have that, I can turn the sleeves on the sweatshirt, and then we will actually be finished and we can try it on the doll. I got ahead of myself there for a minute. Sorry. I'm using my little turning tool if you haven't seen it. It's really handy for situations like this. You may need to snip the underarm seam a little bit so that it'll fold and not have gathers in it. All right, so there's our little finished sweatshirt. And now I gotta cut the paper towel off the doll bin, protecting her face and hair while we worked on the other parts of her body. So she's gonna be a little bit disheveled, but we'll get her fixed up after we get her clothes on. All right, so we're gonna get the sweatshirt on, and we're gonna take our little shirt and tie it around her waist. And there's our completed grunge look. So off camera, I recombed her hair and got her fixed up, and I took her outside so it would look a little bit nicer. And there's the back, and there's a close-up of her face, and another full-length view where you can see her little boots and everything. So that's the end of our Obitsu project. And now for my exciting announcement. Everything in my Etsy store has been placed on sale until March 30th of this year. I'll put the link to my store in the description box below. And some of my items are up to 50% off. So if you like some of the things I've made on this channel, check it out. What's coming up next for Artistic Adventures? Well, my next tutorial will be on drawing eyes. This will help you when you're doing your doll repaints. After that, I'm planning to do a project I've wanted to do for a long time on making a Harajuku girl. It ought to be really cute. So make sure you subscribe so you won't miss a thing. And give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Thanks and bye.